What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Happy New Year. We are officially in 2025 and I am super excited. I have really big plans for the build, for the channel, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. I know it's been a while since my last video, which was the oil change video, but long story short, the next mod I wanted to do after that was the M Performance rear diffuser. I ordered from 4 different companies and none of them fit right. And then I went to the forums like anyone else would, and I found out that people with the 2020 F30 440 all had the same issue where none of these M Performance rear diffusers fit. So then after buying it and then sending it back, returning it for the last 2 to 3 months, I finally just gave up and we'll wait for someone on the forums to finally say they found a M Performance diffuser that actually fits. So until then, I'm keeping it stock. And so today we actually have a really cool build today. And as you can probably already tell from the title, it is going to be insane. While waiting for those M Performance diffusers to come in the mail, because they always took at least 2 weeks to come and then another week to return. So in the meantime, while I was waiting on those, I made some small purchases for the interior that I didn't think required a video because it would have been like a 30-second install. But I did buy some carbon fiber pieces for the interior trim because it came with the wooden grain looking one and I wanted to change it to carbon. So this is what I have. The first piece of carbon that I got was actually this e-brake handle cover. I just was not a fan of the black leather one that it came with. And then the second piece was this one right here. And then just a couple weeks ago, I ended up buying this larger piece right here. And this piece honestly changed up the entire interior center dash right here because I'm just not a fan of the wood grain trim, just like it is right here. And so this piece is coming soon, as well as the door handle covers for all 4 doors. As you can see here, we got a package from ARM Motorsports. I am installing a cold air intake today. And the cool thing about it is I opted in for this clear heat shield. So it'd be really cool to see, like once I open the hood, you can see the red air filter cone right through this. And the reason why I actually went with ARM is because everyone on YouTube has the same exact air intake, either the CTS turbo one or the MST. So I figured I'd be different and try ARM Motorsport. So in order to remove this airbox, there's a 6mm clamp right here that you need to loosen, as well as taking off this MAF sensor. And how you take this off is you need to pull up on this white clip right here. Just pull straight up with your thumb. You'll hear that sound, and then you push straight down and pull out, and that's all it is. After taking off the sensor and loosening up this clamp, you should be able to separate these tubes apart, but you know, I need 2 hands to do this, so I'll catch you guys after I take this apart. Now that I got it separated, this box is only held on by 3 grommets, so don't be afraid. All you have to do is just pull straight up towards you and it will come right out. Now that I got the bigger portion of the airbox out, there is one more clamp down there that I believe is either an 8mm or a 6mm, and after you loosen that, you should be able to pull the rest of this off and install a new one. Here's everything that came in the box from ARM Motorsports. Here we have some weather stripping, clamps, silicone hose, this part of the intake, which the MAF sensor goes on, some hardware, the cone, heat shield, and the top heat shield, which I opted in for the clear one, and I didn't realize that they actually provide you the black one as well, so I can switch whenever I decide to. After you loosen that 6mm clamp, you should be able just to twist off the top and it'll pull straight out. I put some paper towels in there so nothing drops in there just in case anything happens. So the next step is you'll see this little
nub right here. I believe it's a 16 millimeter. Gotta take it off, and then we can put the new heat shield on there after. It shouldn't be on very tight. It's just a plastic nub. Don't lose this because we'll be using it for later. Before we install this shield back onto the car, you need to put on the weather stripping that came in the package. This one is a thicker piece that we put around this hole, and then this thinner one we put around the bottom. And it seems like it's a bit too long, so I'm just going to trim it until it sits flush up here. This is what the heat shield looks like after putting on both pieces of weather stripping all around, and both of them had to be trimmed. So just to give you an idea, the thicker piece, that's how much I trimmed off, and the thinner piece. Now it's time to put it back on the car. Now that the heat shield is installed here, the next thing that we should do is take off the map sensor off the original airbox and transfer it to the new intake. To remove this, there are two T20s. After you remove this, you transfer it onto here. It only fits one way. Otherwise, if you know you put it on wrong, if the holes do not line up, and ARM did provide new hardware that we'll be using today. I know I skipped a lot of steps, but after you transfer the map sensor onto the new intake, you just have to put the silicone hose onto the turbo inlet, clamp that down, then you put the metal piping in, and then the cone, and lastly you have these 3 millimeter Allen screws to hold the clear heat shield on, and then don't forget to plug back in the connector for the map sensor. After that, all you gotta do is start up the car and give it a test drive. Here are some sound clips of the intake. I hope you guys enjoyed the flybys and the sound clip of the air intake. Of course, camera does not do justice because even when I watch these clips back, it just does not sound as good as when I'm actually driving the car. But the one piece of advice I have for you guys, if you do decide to buy this air intake kit, is that just make sure the turbo inlet and the silicone hose are perfectly snug. Otherwise, it's going to create a boost leak, because the first time I did it, there's actually a large gap. I didn't make sure the silicone hose was fully seated on the turbo inlet, so a check engine light came on after around 20 miles. But after I fixed it and I made sure it was fully seated, check engine light never came back on. But with that being said, this concludes the video. If there is anything else that you want to see me do to my car, please feel free to comment or DM me on Instagram. Thank you guys so much if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.